Today we're going to start out with books and authors I think are underrated. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. Out with Bricks, which is by the author Lakia. It is urban fiction romance and it is number 3 on the Kindle Unlimited list. And so it starts out with a character. His name is Brixton. He is called Brix. He is in the hospital and he is having a heated argument with his nurse. So he is in pain and she says that she's treating him like a junkie and he wants his meds. And, it's a book, but I could definitely relate to that. They, sometimes do kind of make you feel like a junkie. So I, just kind of connected with that. Anyway, so he's having this disagreement with a nurse who has a funky attitude and a terrible bedside manner. And there's another nurse who hears this commotion and she comes in and she know that this particular nurse is known for, just not having the greatest personality with the patient. So she comes in to go ahead and help him, to give him his medicine, and they are both attracted to each other. He looks at her and thinks, wow, if I wasn't in this hospital bed, I might have to get at her. And she's thinking, well, he's handsome, but, all of my friends, they always talk to these guys, and basically all they want to do is drop some D off and get on. And I'm just not into that. So they do build this rapport and they bond over some information that she gives him about his care. So, just a little bit about Bricks. So, Bricks is an assassin. He has put his guns down for a bit just to take care of his mom. She is in a bad way and she needs extra care because of something that happened to her, and he is there for her. He makes her a priority. Reagan, which is the female character, she is a teen mom. She has a son. His name is Cash. He's about 3 years old. She decided that she was not going to become a statistic and that she would not allow the circumstances that happened as a teen to dictate her future. So she went to school and she completed her mission and has become a nurse. Reagan lives with family. She is fairly young. I would assume she might be about 21. Her son is 3. She had him at 17. So I'm thinking she's about 21 or so. She lives with her sister and her sister's family. So there are 2 books before. When you read this book, it tells you that this character, Reagan, was introduced in a previous book. I have not read those previous books, and I don't think that you have to read those previous books in order to enjoy this book. So, Megan has had some trauma from her child's father, and throughout the friendship with her and Brooks, she unwittingly shows Brooks this trauma. There are signs of trauma that he sees, and he wants to help her. He is attracted to her and he wants her to be safe and happy. So, he is going to make it his mission to see to it that she is good. This is a 2 book series. However, I've only read the first book. It is 5 stars on the Kindle Unlimited list. I would give it somewhere like maybe a 4.5, but it was still a really good book. And I think it is underrated simply because I haven't heard anybody talk about this book and it really was good. So, one of my favorite authors who I feel like is underrated, her name is Ashley Nicole. So, Ashley Nicole has a very good catalog. I've read a few of her books. I have 2 books that I really, really like, who are both definitely 5 stars. One is called Gravity, and the other one is called Elevate Me. Gravity is about 2 sisters. One sister who is happy and jovial and outgoing, and the other one is not. She goes through some issues with this on again, off again relationship. There are some trigger warnings in this book. So if you have any issues with unaliving, postpartum depression, anxiety, like she has some issues that she's dealing with. This particular book is so much like real life that it does not read to me like fiction. It's a really good read, but again, there are some very sensitive issues in this particular book, and it is called Gravity. Now, my personal favorite is a book called Elevate Me. So, Elevate Me is about these two characters, Shy and Bridget. So, Bridget is a young lady who is rich, and she comes from a very affluent background. Her parents are rich, her parents have the say so in her life, although she is adult. She is kind of still told what to do by her parents. She lives by a certain set of rules because she has to be upstanding so that she does not embarrass her family. And then you have the guy, Sky, who is a custom furniture maker. He has his own showroom and he does these things by hand. He does really good work. So Bridget saw his work somewhere and she felt like she wanted to buy some of his work. She has a best friend who is also her cousin and two other girls. So this group of girls hang out a lot. Two other girls are more friends of her cousins than they are of her, but they all have this bougie, better than attitude. And they go into the store. Her cousin or one of the other girls makes some really slick comments that are so very disrespectful to hardworking people. The Shy actually hears them and he goes over and he has a few words with them. And so they have that attitude that let me speak to the manager because I'm going to get you fired thing going on. It just so happened that Sky is the owner. So he kicks them out. And Bridget goes ahead and she tells her friends and cousins how rude they were and how disrespectful that is to talk to somebody that way, to belittle people. They are basically privileged. And so Bridget goes back to get this piece of furniture that she was wanting, and he doesn't want to sell it to her because he feels like, hey, I'm a hardworking guy and I don't have to be disrespected. I don't need your money. Money is not that big of a deal for me. And she goes back and she talks him into it. So in this, they have a back and forth, and they are both attracted to each other. And throughout this time that they are dealing with each other, they wind up being who each person is. So he sees her for who she is, but she does not think that she is like her cousins, when in fact she is. And he finds a way to actually show her who she is, which I really love because most of us don't have the luxury of seeing who we are. We know what we want people to perceive of us, but we don't actually get to see that. And so I love this because not only does she get to see who she is, it gives her an opportunity to be better and to just kind of grow up because she's really being super childish. And you have to imagine that if her parents are actually the people who are rich and they're providing her with things and a lifestyle, then she's got to adhere to these silly rules that they have for her in order to continue to live this lifestyle. So it presents her an opportunity to grow up and actually become the woman that she wants to be and not the woman that her parents want her to be. So I love, love, love this story. I do believe that Ashley Nicole is super underrated. Like, guys, her books are great, and I've read quite a few of them. And she is definitely underrated, in my opinion. That I think is definitely underrated. Her name is Chelsea Maria, and I've read three of her books. And I enjoyed all three of her books. One of my favorite books is called More Than You'll Ever Know. It's hard to decide what kind of book it is. I don't think there's a such thing as a romance thriller, but it has like that kind of vibe. It has like a thriller type vibe, but it's a romance, so maybe it's contemporary romance. I don't know. I don't know. what the genre is, it is a good book. Story is about choice. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. So, Joyce has a twin sister. Joyce and her twin sister are identical looking to her mom. So, there is a guy who is stalking Joyce. Joyce has an event that she needs to go to. Joyce refuses to go into the witness protection program. And so now she has a bodyguard who is an FBI agent. I think those are the people who do the witness protection program. Anyway, she has a bodyguard. They have this event that they're going to be going to, and the bodyguard doesn't want him to go, but they want to draw out this guy who is stalking her. So they pretend that they're in a relationship in order to bring out the stalker so that they can get him. It is a really good book. It has romance, it's a thriller, and it is funny. Joyce is a character. This author's name is Chelsea Maria, and again, I believe is underrated. So there are just a couple more authors that I think are underrated. So I am just going to give you a couple of names and a couple of their books. So we have Bailey West. I think she is underrated and she has some great books. I love her books. So if you're the kind of person who are not wanting a lot of spice and who is just looking for really good stories, minimal profanity, that would be Bailey West. She has this wonderful book. Oh, I love this book. Definitely a 5 star. It's a romance. It's called Loving Man. So it is about a single father who is a chef who falls for the nanny, and that one is super good. But she's got the Bluette series. I believe her most recent one is the Transformation series. She has some really good books. She has the Valentine Law series, which I really like. It has black attorneys in it, and I love that for us. I just wish that, like a lot of the books, you'll have the people doing whatever they're doing, and then like the store will be owned by other, or the attorney will be other, or the doctor will be other. And this book, the attorneys are black, and so I love that. Then we also have the Bluette series, which is a series of 3 books. You have Ezekiel, Paxton, and Roman. They are all brothers. Actually, one of them is the cousin who grew up in the house. So it's each one of these guys' stories. And all 3 stories are 5 star. I 5 star. Okay? You hear me now? So I just told you about 4 books from this one person that are 5 stars. Then you have Miss Nia Forrester. I love her Afterwards series. I've read some of the other books, but the Afterwards series is my favorite. You've got Young, Rich, and Black, Rhyme or Reason, Broken, Snowflake. I think it's about 9 books in the series. I already talked about Come Up and The Takedown. That is also a part of the series. These are good books. I feel like she is underrated. Then you have Miss Nicole Falls. I feel like she is super underrated. It feels like, and I don't know if this is a good thing to say or not, but I'm going to say it, and it just is what it is. But she is a part of that Christina C. Jones, Love, Belvin, that kind of circle thing. And Nicole Fall's name isn't in that same conversation. Like, she is right there with them. Her books are shorts, but you talking about spicy. Oh, baby, muy caliente. They are spicy. Right there with Alexandra House and Alexandria Warren. She is right in there. I never hear her name. She's there. But yeah, so these are some of the underrated authors. Also Tay Russ. I love Tay Russ. Her books are so romantic. Like if you like that really gushy romance. I talked about one of her books in one of my previous videos. What was it called? Something about a bride. The bride left her guy at the altar, got in the cab, and then her and the guy in the cab went to an island together and fell in love. Like, Tay Russ writes the best romance books. And these are just authors and books that I do not hear people talking about. And I love them. I want to give them some shine. And I know I did not do any of these books justice. But let me know if you have checked any of these books out or if you are going to check them out. They are awesome authors. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, see you soon.